Hi, welcome back to Live Deep. I've got my overhead cam set up. It's my webcam, and it's currently being held by a bicycle repair rack. And so I don't have a whole lot of options for shots, so I'm sorry about the background. We're going to talk through how to cut your fabric right now, because I was working with my son last night and showing him how to cut fabric, and he gave it a shot and it didn't go that well for him. So I'm going to show you guys how to do it, how to lay it out as best as possible. And again, remember the fabric that we're working with here is your pillowcase. So we're just going to use a pillowcase and we're going to cut out the mask for you. All right, so let's have a look at what that's going to look like. All right, so if you're doing the Phoebe Putney mask, then this is what your pattern looks like. If you are doing the Instructables for a nurse by a nurse, then you're going to have a pattern that looks like this if you and I hand drew it, or it's going to look like this if you had a printer to help you. So for the Phoebe Putney, I'm just going to quick cut out the pattern, and they have all these markings here sort of on the outside of the pattern, which is less helpful than having them on the inside. But, you know, we're all just doing what we can right now. So anyway, you might want to transfer that information to the inside part of your pattern before you cut out your pattern and throw it away. These are where you're going to put in your elastic or your ties. So I'm just going to make note of that so that I don't get confused and think that the other is where I'm going to put in my ties. So there you go. So now we've got our two patterns, and I'm going to just take my, isn't that great? I'm just going to take my pillowcase, and right now it's folded in half, and it's a pillowcase, so each of these is 2 layers. So this is 2 layers of fabric, and then if I fold it in half, that becomes 4 layers of fabric. The Phoebe Putney mask wants you to use 4 layers. So this right here is 4 layers. So you can put down your Phoebe Putney mask pattern on your pillowcase after you've folded it in half, and then we're just going to cut it out. Now, if you don't have any pins, if you can get a binder clip on there, if you can get something to hold it still for you, go get your chip clips. Go do something get something so that you can hold your fabric still. Whoops, and hold your pattern still. So what we'll do now is we'll just start cutting, and we're just going to do our best here, right? We're going to cut this out, and if you can think of a way to mark right here where that point is, now's a good time to mark it while it's still on the pattern. I have some chalk, just from a chalkboard that my kids use, so I can just mark the ties here with a little piece of chalk. All right, so I'm just going to start cutting, and here we go. Hopefully your bandage scissors are newer than mine. I inherited these 100 million years ago, and so they are not necessarily the sharpest, but they're not bad either. So I'm going to scooch my binder clips as I go along, but I'm going to keep reclipping what I've cut with other clips. And like I said, you can use chip clips. If you have paper clips, those might work once you've gotten started a little bit. I'm going to get some of the fabric out of the way. So just however you can to get this cut out, and you want 4 layers of fabric. Okay. And like I said, this is a pillowcase folded in half. So if you are down to your last N95, like I do know that some of y'all are, I have a friend who was having a name your mask contest because she didn't plan on being separated from her mask anytime in the foreseeable future, since her N95 was the last one that that they had available to give her for now. So there's our 4 layers of fabric, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. And you're just going to keep cutting around until you've got the whole thing cut. So let's get that done. And just hold it still, hold it in place. I'm trying to do my best. This is not easy, but it will get you, hopefully, what you need. And we're going to actually cut around these little diamond shapes so that we can have those in the fabric. They're going to be tucked into a seam later. And so what they're going to do is tell you that you've put the pieces together right. So that's what those are for. So here we go. There we go. Done. And we've got the 2 little points sticking out, little horns. All right, now, same pillowcase, but this is for if you wanted to do the mask for a nurse by a nurse. Now, again, here's my pillowcase, right? Here's the opening of it. I'm going to fold it in half again, so it's going to be 4 layers of fabric again, right? Because a pillowcase is already 2 layers. So 2 layers here, 2 layers here, and I'm going to lay them on top of each other. All right, there we go. Make sure that they meet right there. Make sure you fold it pretty tightly so that the layers aren't separated from each other. And then where it says fold on your pattern, you're going to put that where you folded your pillowcase, right? So it's only 1 fold there, not these 2 pieces here. It's the single fold here when you folded your pillowcase in half lengthwise. So there's that. Let's pin it, chip clip it, however we're going to keep it down. And then this one, you're just cutting straight lines. And I'm going to bring it to me so that I can cut the straight lines easier. If you give a little bit of tension, if your scissors are prone to chewing on your fabric, you can put a little bit of tension on your fabric, hold it tight, and it'll work a little bit better. Okay. So, and you should be able to cut a few masks, like 1, 2, maybe 3. If you're only doing a single type of mask, you should maybe be able to get 3 masks out of 1 standard size pillowcase. With the Phoebe Putney one, you might be able to get even more than that, just because it's a little bit less intensive on your fabric use. So there's that mask, the For a Nurse by a Nurse, and then here is the Phoebe Putney mask. Whoops, sorry. Let me put them where you can see them. So that's it. You just cut your fabric. We'll go on to the next tutorial and see how we sew them. Okay. Thanks for watching.